The inspector came from behind and said, "Hey, इनको कुछ जाने तो ये बावाजी लोग है, तुम्हारे वाट लगा देंगे." If you wrote 3.5 pages for an answer, you would pass. The major difference is basically kids nowadays used to have learned to question their seniors.
Okay.
While in those days, very few would question their seniors. I felt that setting up a new organization, setting up something new would be a bigger challenge than what I'm doing now.
You've been at the same place for 30 years. Did you not think, I want to switch, I want to do something different, something better than what I'm already doing? Did that thought never cross your mind?
That thought did cross my mind.
But seriously, you've given a speech in front of Modi after that.
Capital market is evolving so fast.
Right.
If you are out of touch for 6 months, you become stale. See, capital market, as I said first,
right,
is a place where you build wealth, not to make money.
Hi, welcome to another episode of the Zero to Ziddi podcast. Today's episode is really very special to me. We're going to be discussing the Parsi community in depth and how they've made crazy contributions to the country. One of the most successful minorities that we have in the country. We've got Mr. Cyrus Khambata with us on the podcast, who's led CDSL from scratch and is the whole-time director of Paytm Money. He's also the founding father of KYC in India. This entire podcast has been a learning curve for me on how careers are to be shaped and how do you retain the best talents in the country. Trust me, this is worth your watch and you need to watch it till the very last minute. Let's start. Thank you so much for coming on Zero to Ziddi, Cyrus uncle.
My pleasure, dear.
The Cyrus Khambata is here on Zero to Ziddi finally. How does it feel to be here?
It feels wonderful. Basically, this is the first time that I've looked at a podcast. Don't know much of it, but I'll try to do good something the best of way I can.
Bas wahi hai, we have to just motivate people and tell them your journey. Once your journey is out, people are anyway going to fall in love with you. Cyrus uncle, you stay in a country as a Parsi, as a Bawaji as we call it. Parsis, 90% of the Parsis are staying in Bombay specifically and India. How does it feel to be one of them?
It feels nice to be a Parsi for the sole reason that wherever you go, you are recognized. If you tell them you are a Bawa, people kind of respect you. And maybe sometimes even go out of the way to come in contact with you and help you.
Why do they want to come?
I'll give you an example of this. Once we were traveling from Mahabaleshwar, the police, it was a car given to me by CDSL, so it was a company car.
Right.
They were checking the registrations and they saw the name of the company, so that Havaldar was saying that basically you are using a private taxi, etc., etc. So we were arguing with him. The inspector came from behind and said, "Hey, इनको कुछ जाने तो ये बावाजी लोग है, तुम्हारे वाट लगा देंगे."
But how are Bawajis always so chill? Because I have honestly not seen any community in this country. और एक तो Bawajis से मिलके वो vibe आता है that they're always chill, not very serious, taking everything very chill. कुछ भी अगर life में कुछ बहुत बड़ा भी हो जाएगा, nothing very stressed. How does that spirit come in?
That spirit comes in naturally if you go to see. Basically, chilling out is one of the, what would you say, roots of a Bawa. We celebrate all festivals. We want a bhana just to celebrate. It could be a remote cousin's birthday. We all want to celebrate.
Right.
And what we believe is basically pass on this, enjoy your life, enjoy yourself to others.
Right.
We believe that you must laugh and make others laugh. And we have a very kind of unique thing that we can laugh on our own self.
That's the best thing. If you can't laugh on yourself, so फिर तो life में कुछ है ही नहीं.
Yes.
When you start taking yourself very seriously, then people would think that यार इससे बात करके फायदा ही नहीं है. I have seen so many Bawajis being so successful. Successful entrepreneurs wherever they go. But one thing which is very common is that sense of humility which comes in. They're very grateful for everything that they have. So is this like something which is common in the entire community, or this is on the upbringing that every family has?
No, it is common in the community, but the extent to which it goes it depends on basically the upbringing of the family.
Understood. Cyrus uncle, we see a lot of Parsi societies which are established across the country, across the entire city right now. Why are these societies built? Because I think folks who are very close to Babajis and also Parsis know कि ऐसे societies exist करते हैं. A lot of Tata societies is something that we see so that the community is staying together. But ये society का logic क्या है? Why are they formed? How does it get passed on from one person to another? क्या होता है ये?
See, basically, if you have to understand this, you have to go to the pre-independence era where Parsis were spread across. When the development started, the Parsi community find it difficult to get houses. That is where, and that time houses were so bad, you used to say 2 lakh boards across the city. So at that time they thought that it is better that the community lives together. So the forefathers or the people decided to form these colonies or the parks as you call them, and so that the Parsis live together, where all the cultural programs, all the activities can be done together.
Okay.
But more important, they saw that basically if you live outside, children don't have place to play. So the colony would have place where children can play, enjoy themselves. There will be a club where they can cultivate lot of games, learn lot of games. In fact, in some of the colonies, the trustees actually appointed a person to conduct a play group for the children every week.
Achha.
And they would have the children come in, he would make them play games, and then they would give them snacks and the children would go home.
और ये every weekend particularly?
Every weekend at one time.
क्या बात कर रहे हो?
Yes.
मतलब this is something that I've seen very common, that everyone's enjoying every festival together, they are going out together, but there are also a few Parsis who stay away from these colonies. तो इसका enrollment system क्या होता है? That how do you get into it and how does the houses get passed on from one family to another?
Those who stay outside, Parsis can come and, if there's a club or a ground, they can come and play there. There is nothing like enrollment if they are welcome. Then basically what happens is, to encourage spirit of participation and spirit of competition, they will have basically competitions of various games like volleyball, basketball, etc. Between the marks. So that will encourage people to become kind of little bit of professional. The children can become professional in the game they play.
Okay, nice. Cyrus uncle, we would want to essentially talk about the time when you were a kid. What was your family background like? What was it like growing up back in the day?
I come from a very low middle class family. My dad was working with Times of India.
Okay.
And he was on the technical side, of course.
Okay.
And his salary was 90 rupees per month.
This is which year? 1960s.
50s, 60s.
50s, 60s, okay.
That time also it was pretty low.
Okay.
So they had a problem with making ends meet, and we were a joint family where my grandfather on the daddy's side, and my mummy's mother also was staying, because when mummy's grandfather expired, she was alone in Nagpur, so we had brought them here.
Okay.
Then my dad's 2 sisters, we were all staying in a 1-room flat.
Okay, so that's logically 6 people staying together. 6 लोग हो गया ना? कितने लोग?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8 people staying in a 1 BHK. कैसे मैनेज होता था इतने छोटे घर में?
We arranged it that way.
Seriously?
Yes.
So how was it growing up? Where did you study? What were you studying then?
See, I studied in St. Mary's High School.
Okay.
ICSE.
Oh, back then ICSE. अभी भी लोग SSC में पढ़ रहे हैं. So ICSE back then.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll tell you how I got into the school. My mummy's uncle, his neighbor passed out from the school. So one day, when dad told him, you can get my child in. So he knew the principal there, and they called me. We went there, and basically principal took an interview kind of thing, small interview, asking a few questions, and he says admission granted and you pay the fees. I still remember it was 20th January and my dad had to pay the whole January month's fee for those 3 days.
Oh, what was the fees back then?
30 rupees.
So that's almost
so out of 90 rupees, my dad used to pay 30 rupees as my school fees.
तो ये 90 रुपीज का बाइफर्केशन होता कैसे था? 30 रुपीज हो गया मंथली स्कूल फीस, बाकी 60 रुपीज में 8 लोग घर चल रहा है.
That's right. My mommy used to send tiffin boxes to my aunt and her friends who were working in SO that time, which has become HP now.
Okay.
And she used to send for 5 dabbas. And from that our home food used to come out.
तो मुझे
and at that time the dabba would cost 60 rupees.
तो मुझे
1 month food 60 rupees.
But uncle, tell me one thing. मतलब when we think of it right now, 90 rupees is nothing अभी के हिसाब से. वो टाइम पे भी वो टाइम का 90 रुपीज मतलब आज का 10,000 के आसपास, 8-10,000. बट आई हैव सीन मोस्ट पीपल बीइंग अनहैप्पी अबाउट द फैक्ट कि उनके पास पैसा नहीं है, लाइफ कैसे जिएंगे. ये 90 रुपया जो था उसमें हाउ आर यू सो हैप्पी, सेटिस्फाइड एंड लिविंग लाइफ. मुझे तो ये समझना है कि वो टाइम पे हाउ वाज दैट हैप्पी स्पिरिट आउट देयर, बिकॉज हाफ ऑफ द पीपल, एटलीस्ट पीपल लाइक मी, वुड गो नट्स इन द हेड कि भाई इतने में दिन निकालना है, हाउ डू यू लिव लाइफ. But how was that happy spirit?
This is the characteristic of a Parsi. You are happy with anything. I still remember that Dad used to also work as a part-time priest.
Okay.
In the fire temple. Times of India, they had 1 week night duty, 1 week day duty.
Okay.
So he had taken night duty permanently. So very few people wanted to take night duty, but he opted for night duty permanently. He would come home from night duty, take bath, freshen up and go and pray in the agyari. And then come back at 1 o'clock, 1:30. Sleep, have food, sleep, and again go to office.
But all of this happening in your life, did it bring that Ziddi spirit in you? Ki yaar, I am seeing that it is so difficult for my household to meet ends that I want to do something so extraordinary or crazy in my life so that I never see this part of life, at least financially. वो कभी thought आया आपको?
वो thought नहीं आया.
क्यों?
Because logically what happened is, the thought at that time was how I can support them in the best of ways.
Okay. So what was your thought as a 10-year-old, 13-year-old? What were you thinking कि कैसे support करना है फिर?
Basically, be happy with what you have. Although they had this finance not very well off financially, they never deprived me of anything. In school, we used to go for scout camp 3 times a year.
Okay.
He used to allow me to go, and he used to give me pocket money of 10 rupees. I remember at that time. So. And I used to bring back 9.50 or 9 rupees back. I never used to spend it.
No, that was your thing कि मैं जितना बचा सकता हूँ
बचा लो. And from the 8th standard, I started off helping people distribute newspaper, Blitz newspaper.
Okay, so you used to go deliver in the morning.
The papers.
तो उसका आपको पॉकेट मनी मिलता होगा थोड़ा बहुत. तो ये आपने स्कूल में किया. स्कूल होने के बाद you studied commerce after that. You were in which college, uncle?
I was in Podar.
So
I studied commerce in school.
Okay.
We had from 9th, 10th, 11th, we had selective subjects.
Right.
Science, commerce or arts.
Arts.
So I taken commerce.
Why did you take commerce, not science?
I wanted to take up science, but in science we had 2 streams: physics, chemistry, biology, and physics, chemistry, maths.
Right.
I didn't like biology. So they took aptitude test and they offered me biology. I said I don't want biology. I want maths. So they refused to give me that. I want to commerce.
So you took up commerce in 9th grade only?
Yes.
So you took up commerce in 9th, you gave your boards, then you came to Podar. Podar, the one in Dadar, right?
Yeah.
So how did you find Dadar का Podar का crowd that time? What was it like back then? क्योंकि अभी तो बहुत अलग crowd है, of course. But
crowd was very sober at that time.
Okay.
But there were a lot of activities going on.
In college?
In college. So we used to part of all those activities, various clubs, various associations, etc.
What associations were you part of?
Basically, how I got admission was also a very rare thing.
कैसे मिला?
My dad knew a chartered accountant, Parsi boy, who were the auditors of Podar College.
Right.
So he had talked to them. They said, "You go." He gave Mr. Deshpande was the guy there. He gave the letter. I took it to the principal. Principal saw my certificate and gave me admission immediately. That time, of course, SSC results had not come out, so admissions had not started.
Okay.
But he gave me admission. He said, "Pay your fees today."
So that
I had not expected this. I had not carried money. So I came home, took the money and then paid the fees.
And then you got into the college?
I got into admission. Got the admission.
तो फिर कॉलेज जर्नी कैसा था अंकल? यू यूज्ड टू गेट अप, गो टू कॉलेज, कम बैक. तो उसका इंटर्नशिप था, कुछ था कि ओनली कॉलेज? ओनली कॉलेज, नो इंटर्नशिप. बट वो टाइम पे इंटर्नशिप का कुछ वाज देयर एन एरा ऑफ इंटर्नशिप?
There was nothing like internship at that time. But at that time, I used to work with Bank of India as a part-time clerk.
While you were in college?
While I was in college.
First year से कि
that was a scheme made by Bank of India for college students only.
Okay.
You had to give bona fide certificate every year. So before I actually joined college, I had got that. I was posted somewhere in Fountain area.
Right.
Since when I got Podar College, when I got admission, I asked them to shift me to Wadala so that I can go there, work for 2 hours and then come to college.
So it was first home से बैंक ऑफ इंडिया, वहां से कॉलेज, फिर वापस घर. मतलब this was your daily routine. And were you like a very sincere studious kid who would go to college every day?
No.
कि क्या? How was
college every day, but classes not every day.
बार आराम से time pass. But how was it back in the day? That was there a trend? जैसे आजकल the trend is very simple that kids go to college, they go to a cafe, chill the entire. What was your hangout space?
I forgot to tell you. Basically, I did not do inter because of ICSE. I got admission direct into inter. First year college was not required.
Okay, second year of college. So you skipped 1 year directly.
Yes.
तो वो 2 साल अंकल आप लोगों का what was your hangout spot like?
3 years. College was 4 years that time.
Okay.
So first year inter, third year and fourth year.
Okay.
So I got into inter direct.
तो फिर 3 साल का हो गया.
3 साल का हो गया.
तो आप लोगों का हैंगआउट स्पॉट क्या था? तभी आप लोग जाके कहाँ चिल करते थे?
माटू का जिम खाना.
माटू का जिम खाना. क्या करते थे जाके वहाँ पे?
जाके खेलते थे, मस्ती करते थे. So many of our friends were fathers of members. जाके उधर चिल आउट करते थे, मस्ती करते थे. माटू का जिम खाना had a very good cricket team.
Right.
So Chandgarkar, who was our science professor, our English professor, was chairman to cricket board.
Okay.
So he used to come there, and a lot of players he picked up from there in the Indian team.
Okay, people like who? कौन? वेंसरकर. दिलीप वेंसरकर. क्या बात कर रहे हो? He used to play in माटुंगा जिमखाना. क्या बात कर रहे हो? I never knew this. What is your fondest memory of college, Cyrus uncle? कुछ ऐसा memory which you will never forget in life?
I will tell you one instance. When we had groups, we used to have functions. Right. So whenever there was some committee meeting, etc., we would have some snacks. So people used to spend a lot on the snacks.
Right.
So and those committees had limited budget.
Right.
So I told them one day I will arrange the snacks. I managed it in 1/3 of the cost by giving them the best of the items, like mawa cake from Merwanji's, not Merwanji's, apna Grand Road wala, Bimelwat, and patties from there, etc. So those restaurants were cheaper with very good food. So I actually gave them. People were astonished how you could manage it.
इतना जुगाड़ वो टाइम से इतना जुगाड़. You were 19, 20 back then और वो टाइम पे इतना जुगाड़.
I was 17. I graduated at 19.
हमारा graduation year is 21. You graduated at 19. So 19 के बाद you started working right after graduation. Was there not a thing back then कि अभी college graduation हो गया, you need to do your masters or MBA? जैसे अभी तो ये हो गया, जैसे my mother was always behind my life. That you've completed your graduation, now do your post graduation. Was there not a thing or trend of that?
Doing ICSE, our exams were in December.
Right.
College used to start in June,
July, right.
So 6 months gap was any which way available. That time I was taken as a not apprentice but as a volunteer. I used to go to Matli Banpurat and go with the students for audit.
Okay. When you were 18, 19?
19.
Wow. But uncle, आपको फिर उसका masters नहीं करना, masters या MBA कुछ नहीं करना था. Then you completed your graduation. Now usually people, at least now the trend is that कि graduation होते MBA कर लो. Was there not a trend or fad?
MBA was not that common that during those days.
Okay.
So basically graduation was a must.
MCom?
So, MCom, yes.
तो आपने MCom किया था उसके बाद? Oh, so you graduated at 19, then you took up MCom?
No, it was a different thing.
क्या था?
Graduation, after graduation, after I did my BCom, I was searching for a job because I had to support family.
Right.
And by that time, dad's income had a little bit increased, but inflation had gone up more.
Right.
So I was searching for a job, and my Bank of India was already continuing.
Those two hours that you
So Bank of India, although I was not in college, bona fide certificate देना था. So someone told me Bombay University runs a language course.
Okay.
So I went to Clubhouse, University Clubhouse at Fountain. They said yes, you can take up, so filled up the form, etc.
Right.
And they said classes are already started, you go and sit down. So बैठ गया अंदर. I told them I want the bona fide certificate, तो form भर के दे दिया. Next day I went. I asked them, they gave me the bona fide certificate, so I didn't pay fees and didn't go only.
Well, you got your certificate. लगे छोड़ा, अब नहीं आना मेरे को.
And in that one day I learned 2 words, Packet sheet Deutsch.
ये कौन सा लैंग्वेज है?
German.
So you went for 1 day, learned 2 words, got your certificate, and then said thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
अब से आना मत. तो एक बात बताओ, you got done with your 19, मतलब your graduation at 19. ये एक दिन आपने जाके attend कर लिया. फिर M.Com कब आया इसके बीच में?
Then we decided to do LLB. 3 or 4 friends. हम लोग गए थे, admission लिया college में. KC college है. Government law, not government law we didn't get, or it was difficult to get, so we tried KC.
Right.
We went to college for 3 days.
Okay.
1 day for getting admission, 1 day for paying college second term fees, and 1 day for filling in the form.
Okay.
And we didn't go to college. Then
not even for a single day.
Huh?
Not even a single
not
day.
Not a single day.
But क्यों LLB करना क्यों था फिर?
ऐसा ही करना था, कुछ तो करना है.
अरे ग्रेजुएशन में कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा.
तो लॉ कर लिया. all my friends said we'll withdraw the form. That time the examination fee was for 60 rupees.
Okay.
And if you withdraw the form, you are getting only 40 rupees back. So I said, no, I will give the exam. You withdraw the form. One day before, I took books from somebody else, read it like a novel and went for the exam. 100% not going to pass. But when the results came out, I passed. How? Don't ask me how.
ये छाप के तो नहीं करना छाप के हो सकता है
don't wait, actually it was how big answers you wrote. I believed in this. If you wrote 3.5 pages for an answer, you would pass.
You would pass for sure. क्या बात कर रहे हो? So you took up law, you did not. तो आपने एक term दिया, तो आपने LLB पूरा खत्म नहीं किया.
Second year also, then I didn't buy the books, didn't do anything. Appear for the exam like that only. And so LLB also. LLB. Then what happened was that basically Bank of India, I got a job as a full-time clerk. So that time promotions were there. Marks were given for promotions.
Okay.
So a person with 2 years, you would get 2 years for every year of experience. So 40 marks for experience, 20 marks for the qualification. Now 40 marks, people who with 20 years of experience get full 40 marks. To compete with them would be difficult. So I decided that I should do something which I will get full 20 marks. So I did MCOM only to get those 2 marks.
So for your 20 marks you gave.
And then LLB also gave me 2 marks. So total came to 21.
अच्छा ज़्यादा ही हो गया. एक mark वो handwriting का था उसके बीच में.
So they of course 20 only they calculated.
Yeah. So basically let's understand chronology. Bachelor's हो गया आपका graduation होने के बाद, उसके बाद आपने LLB करने का ये किया. फिर आपको marks चाहिए था, you went, did your MCOM, got a promotion, and then you were full time at Bank
of India. And I did also DFM, Diploma in Business Management, correspondence course.
अच्छा. This was again for your promotion. कि promotion मिलने के लिए जितना कर सकते हो उतना करो. तो ये करने के बाद uncle you took up a full time job in Bank of India. What was your entire KRA like? What was your role about? Bank of India में what was your role? What were you doing?
I was in the branch.
Okay.
That time all manual work, no computers.
Okay.
So we had to do ledger keeping. Ledger means what you post your checks and slips, post the vouchers.
So this was manual.
Manual.
So your day-on-day routine was that people would come to you, ask for their ledgers, and you would keep updating it. What was your day like back then in the office? क्योंकि अभी तो समझ में स्टैम्प मारा, सिस्टम पे डाला. वो जमाने में बैंकिंग चलता कैसे था?
You had to start all the transactions that a person did. Were either by what he had filled. If you deposit the money, it was a slip. If you want to withdraw, it was a check. So those checks had to be cleared. Now when checks came in clearing, you had a time gap of only 20 minutes to clear all those checks.
Okay.
Because after that time you can't return the check. It was auto return. You have to actually, if you don't want to pass a check, you have to return it within the time given.
That was 20 minutes.
That was basically you have to be very cautious in doing that.
But was there not a very high chance that since you're doing it manually, the chances of you screwing it up was also that high?
But there were enough checks and balances of checking afterwards.
So you told me about this one customer who would come every day and
that I will tell you. The branch had 87 ledgers.
Okay.
So there were 7 of us sitting down, allotted a few ledgers.
Right.
So, and at that time, bank had announced on the notice board, okay, for cash withdrawal to 10 minutes, for this check dispatch, check deposit. So one customer, again a Bhawa, used to always go and complain to the manager that take out this board. You are never following it. So one day, manager came out and saw him standing there. So he asked him, okay, now you are getting service on time, no? He said, look, no way. But these boys are entertaining me so much that I don't mind waiting. Because when we were doing posting, we used to joke with each other.
Itna seriously
Happy go live so that you don't get bored.
Because the same thing that you're doing daily.
Yes.
But मुझे एक बात बताओ uncle, there is a very big switch now. कि back in the day, even if you were doing the same thing every day, you would be okay with it. You were okay with consistency. The generation which is there now, especially my generation, if we've been asked to do the same thing daily, हमको वो irritation, burnout, गुस्सा जल्दी आता है. तो आपका suggestion हम जैसे बच्चों के लिए क्या है?
नहीं, I'll tell you that time yes, some people did it mechanically, just did the posting.
Right.
But people like us, few of us, we used to study the customer's account.
Right.
It's not that basically just do a debit credit. You should study the customer's account.
Right.
I'll tell you, when the branch got a new manager, she had moved a few customers from another branch and brought them here.
तो उसका accounts का number बढ़ेगा.
Account था. They were into some, I forgot what business they were. And against average balance in the account, they used to take bank guarantee.
Okay.
So I went and told the manager, what you are doing, you may come into trouble. What they were doing was they were depositing check from one account to the other account, only to get average balance.
Right.
So I told her. He said, "How do you know this?" So I said, "I don't do only postings. I study the account."
Right.
And she laughed.
But uncle, I genuinely have this question. You were someone who was smart enough to at least sit, read, understand what accounts were happening across. But there were also other 20% or 25% people who are doing the same monotonous job daily and not trying to innovate. Now I think we've also come to a generation where AI has gotten integrated to that extent, and you cannot do the same thing daily, and it frustrates and irks a lot of people. Even if I look at a few folks who work at Grath right now, if they've been told to do the same thing daily with consistency, they get bored. So what is your message to them? How do you find that new thing every day to keep your senses moving now?
When you are doing everything any day, you have to kind of look at how to improve on the process, how you can kind of look into the process and see what if something is going wrong. If you say that way, if you go to a factory, one guy would doing the same work in the factory floor every day.
Right.
He has more chances of getting bored because he's with a machine. He has no one to talk to. At least in a bank, you had customers coming in, you talk to them, you know them. If regular customers, you talk to them, ask them how they are, what is their work, etc. So that is another way in which you can build relationships for the bank's customers, as at the same time try to do more than what you are supposed to.
You've been, uncle, working for more than 45 years now, professionally. You worked with folks who are your age from back in the day, senior to you, and now you work with kids who are almost, 20, 22 years of age also. What is that very big difference that you see in people from back in the day who are working and now, the kids now who are working? Major difference kya honda?
The major difference is basically kids nowadays used to have learned to question their seniors.
Okay.
While in those days, very few would question their seniors. They would talk behind their back, saying he's not doing this correctly, etc. But nobody would go and approach your senior and tell him that this is what you are doing wrong.
Right.
That is the difference today in the kids. Plus, kids want to grow fast today.
Right.
People would change their job for say 1,000, 2,000 rupees extra money.
Right.
Which is, I feel, not correct.
Why?
You can't make a career if you keep on changing jobs so often.
Because people will think that you don't have loyalty towards one person, then why do I invest that sense of time?
And to set up, to establish yourself in a new organization also takes time.
Right.
If you leave an organization after 1 year, what little you have established goes, you have to read and invent things in the other organization again.
So as an employee,
so the chances of your growth slows down rather than increases. But what people do, young people today are only looking at money, not the growth prospect.
So how can this change? Because I have seen a lot of friends of mine also tell me the same thing. कि यार यहाँ पे पैसा नहीं मिल रहा है, वहाँ पे पैसा मिल रहा है, वहाँ पे जाऊँगा, मेरा career grow रहा है. What I think is that कि तुम switch मारोगे, 2-3 switch मारोगे, अभी तुम early in your career हो, तो शायद सामने वाला 10%, 20% या 30% भी hike देगा. But it is going to stall. So what is your message to?
What is career?
Career is your.
These people consider the money you get is the career.
Right.
That's not the case. Career is how well you establish yourself in a
system,
in a organization, or in the activity that you are doing. How much you contribute to that activity, what improvements you can do, and how your seniors would take you, and you grow automatically in that organization.
Right.
Or you grow by way of designation, leave the organization, go elsewhere in the designation or a higher designation. That would be career growth, not just money.
So ideally you would say that you should switch from one organization to another if you are getting a higher designation. And how important should money be when you are factoring this in? कि आज अगर मेरे को आज मैं अगर GM हूँ, GM से मुझे VP मिल रहा है, so should I just look at the fact that my position is increasing or also the money? And if money, then what should the factor be?
If you have a good prospect in the new organization that you're going to, where you feel you can make a difference to that organization, then yes, money is not important.
Right. But I think now the focus has only come to money. So as someone who is at the top management of an organization, uncle, you are also hiring a lot of people. How do you take that hiring process? Or if someone's come to you कि हाँ मुझे ये इंसान को hire करना है कि नहीं करना चाहिए, what do you check first?
Today in an interview, very low consideration given people who have changed jobs very often.
Right.
That is a fact. That is the trend today.
Okay.
Your prospects of automatically your career prospects come down if you change organization too fast.
So when you look at CVs, uncle, what do you look at कि अच्छा इसने इतना switch किया है, तो आपका minimum barrication क्या है कि हाँ या एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में 2-2 साल रहा है तो मैं इसको इंटरव्यू करूंगा, अगर 6-6 महीने में गया तो नहीं करोगे. ये है कि आपका टाइम फ्रेम क्या होता है देखने का?
There is no time frame. It depends on what work that guy is doing or the applicant is doing, how and the organization where he is working.
Right.
Basically, he could have left because of some other factors. Yeah. So basically, you got to be kind of give him a chance to explain himself. And if you are satisfied, you should confirm from external sources or what he said is correct, and then only recommend.
And when you sit and take interviews, uncle, and primarily for people who are hiring for top management folks or even for entry level positions, because this is something in the finance segment which not a lot of people know about, what are questions that you would ask people when you're hiring them? And if it's a complete fresher, basically folks who are between 20 to 30 who are switching a lot, how do you check on that loyalty fact कि हाँ ये मेरे organization में आएगा तो कितने time रहेगा? Because skill is something that people can hone, but your intent or your entire personality is something that you can't change, right? तो वो आप कैसे judge करते हो?
See, judgment if you are talking at a very high level, the judgment is not there.
Okay.
Because those people come with reference.
Right.
So you know there is a background check done before even you call them for an interview.
Absolutely.
And you know that he's been able to perform in his earlier organizations, not immediate organization.
Right.
So from that you can decide whether to take him or not. And sometimes what management does is they try to squeeze him as low as possible in the salary.
Right.
That is not right. Then if he gets a better opportunity elsewhere, he will go. And when that is where you kind of fail. Sometimes in the management when you decide, okay, I will give him only 2% rise or 5% rise from his earlier CDSL.
But uncle, when you're hiring these 25 to 30 years के लोग जिनका पता है कि ये switch करेंगे, तब what mindset do you have when you build your team particularly? Because there are a lot of people who report to you also right now कि आपको पता है कि हाँ ये इंसान तो 1 ही साल है तो इससे इतना घिसवा लो उसके बाद छोड़ो जाएगा तो भी. So what is your mindset as someone who's sitting on the deciding chair?
That attitude is should never be followed.
Right.
कि 1 ही साल जितना घिसवा लो कर लो. Because you spend a lot of time training in your processes, and that whole thing goes waste if he leaves.
So how do you try and minimize it? Ki I make sure that this person stays loyal to me while he is in the organization.
That majorly depends on his superiors. How well you treat him, how you treat him as an equal, how you interact with him.
Right.
So many people who have shifted jobs very often stick to him if he gets a good report.
I think your reporting manager is the one who's going to change the entire perspective.
Establish relationships with the staff is more important than even salary that you give them.
I think that is something on which a lot of people early on in their career need to understand. If you have stickiness and loyalty at the right place, I think it can take you a lot of places. That is something which I tell people at Grath also, that you stick, then your career is going to soar high from here. If you keep switching for whatever peanut amount of growth that you are looking for, then it's only going to be you hustling around here.
And then there is loyalty to the organization also that counts.
Exactly.
I'll tell you, when I joined Bank of India, they sent us for a induction training. At that time, one lecture of 1.5 hours, the first lecture was taken by the principal on the concept of my bank.
My bank?
My bank.
Okay.
Just to build in that loyalty concept to the organization. If you set up an organization, you automatically get loyalty to it. Like for CDSL, I was part of the original team.
Right.
And I always used to say, it is my company. I will never leave.
And you retired also from CDSL. Yeah. How was that switch from Bank of India to CDSL and why? Why did that switch happen for you?
Bank of India was a joint BOSL. Bank of India was a clearing house of Bank of India, was basically a joint venture between BSE and Bank of India.
Right.
Where Bank of India staff used to run the clearing house.
Right.
Because SEBI wanted a separation. So they said it is not our staff, it is Bank of India staff. So basically I was posted there. That time I didn't know anything about capital.
Right.
I seen shares that my dad held and not even seen a transfer form. That time you used to transfer shares, you had to fill a transfer form.
Okay.
Then I learnt the ropes.
Okay.
There was a BSE used to have a market operation committee meeting every Thursday.
Okay.
Where, because we were clearing house, which is the hub of all activities, we were invited.
So you were not out of choice, but out of option given कि भाई तुमको जाना है अभी CDSL. Although it was not a choice ना कि.
No, they offered me.
Okay, so you said yes.
I said yes because I felt that setting up a new organization, setting up something new would be bigger challenge than what I'm doing now.
And what age were you then? 24, 25?
22, 23.
23?
86, so 26, yeah.
26, I mean that's really young. So 26 you got that chance कि चलो Bank of India the CDSL. Sorry, you were saying something uncle about CDSL. So up BSE में every Thursday there was a session which would happen.
Yeah, so basically in that people used to, Bank of India staff used to go finish their agenda and come out. I said no, I'm going to sit across throughout. Where in that committee everything was discussed, from index to trading to everything.
Right.
And if you don't understand, you ask people, and that is how I learned capital.
Uncle, if you were to make a layman like me and the audiences who are watching this, what is the capital market? Because especially the Gen Zs, they don't understand what a capital market is. What is capital market?
Capital market is where you, unlike what people think, capital market is a gambling den, how things go where. Capital market is a place where you can build wealth.
Okay.
Basically.
And what is CDSL? Because I know what CDSL is now because I've spent that much amount of time and I've tried and understand it. What is CDSL exactly?
CDSL is practically the same thing as a bank.
Okay.
In the bank, you put money, it's stored in your account.
Right.
In a depository, you put securities. Securities is basically as defined by SEBI, it could be shares, debentures, etc.
Right.
And it's stored in your account.
Right.
Then bank would transfer your money when you give a check. Here you fill a slip and it gets transferred. Right. But only difference here is the bank money that you deposit with the bank lends. While in the depository, you're not allowed to lend. You can't deal in those securities.
Right.
They lie in the client's account.
And this is absolutely B2B, nothing B2C. When you join...
Technically not B2C, it is actually B2B.
B2B, yeah.
Because we interact with depository participants who in turn interact with the customers.
So uncle, what was your role like when you joined and how was the experience of building something from scratch then? What was your role?
My role was basically operations. I was part of the original team. So basically before the operation or the system started, we had involved ourselves in testing the system.
Okay.
So when you taking test cases, etc. So that is how we understood how the system actually operates. The intricacies that are there in the system.
Right.
Knowing that it becomes easier for you to do the operations.
Right.
And when things go haywire, you know where the problem has happened and how to control it.
So you joined at what position?
I joined as senior manager.
Senior manager of CDSL at the age of 26. And how big was the team then?
11, 12 people only.
12 people, and this is something which was getting set at a BSc level. So the magnitude was that high, but the team was that small. And then 12 people were folks who've been in the organization for long enough, or they were folks who quit also?
No, they were all there. We had people on deputation from BSc also, about 8-10 people.
Okay. So
after the whole setup happened, after we went live, they went back. They were given an option to stay here or go back to BSc. The majority decided to go to BSc.
Tell me something, uncle. When you were at CDSL, what was your zero to Ziddi movement? Zero was the fact that you started CDSL from scratch. But what was that Zidd in your mind कि मेरे को करना क्या है CDSL के साथ? वो zero to Ziddi movement क्या था for you?
Basically, करना क्या है? Make the product the way that would basically help all the market intermediaries, that is the brokers and the investors.
Usually tend to retire or they take longer sabbaticals. Did you not think in these 35 years that I want to take a sabbatical, a tiny break for myself? Well, 35 years is a long time.
It's not actually 35 years. It could be about 28, 30 years. But whatever the question is that basically The challenges that were there in CDSL because we were starting. NSDL, our competitor, was there for 4 years already in existence. They had, when we started operations, they had 25 lakh accounts.
Okay.
And it took us 2-3 years to admit the companies whose shares can be rematted. Right. And in those 3 years, we had only 1 lakh accounts. And NSDL had reached 45 lakhs. So that was the difference. So the challenge to catch up with them and what products you could offer people which will actually help them. I'll tell you one very simple thing. In those days, clients had to fill in transfer slip like a check.
Right.
So when frequently trading clients had to, if they traded today, they would have to come today or tomorrow and give the slip to the broker. If that doesn't happen, the transfer won't take place and the shares would go for auction.
Right.
So what they used to do, they used to have blank slips and leave it with the broker. Okay. Which was like giving a blank check to it.
Exactly.
It was a very risky thing. So risky for the investors as well as for part of CDSL also, because some claim could come on our head also.
Right.
So what we decided was we'll have a power attorney concept, a limited power attorney concept, under which the client gives the power attorney to the broker, not to the depository participant, to the broker, to issue instructions to the depository for shares which the client has sold.
And how
so
do
if
you
he
verify?
not sold the shares and he misuses it, it is a fraud.
Then how do you verify it? But
we verify it because we power attorney registered in the account.
Okay.
And then the broker signs it instead of the client on his behalf. So we issued separate slip books to the broker to use for power attorney.
Okay. So if anything goes wrong, you can directly catch hold of the broker.
And they are regulated entities. They are regulated by exchanges, SEBI, etc. So chances of a fraud there are very less.
So 35. I mean, honestly, I am trying to
digest. And it was a big safeguard to the client, and a big convenience to the broker.
Right.
So it was a product which was a win-win for everybody.
A lot of innovations that you might have done in these 28, 30, 35 years that you were at CDSL. Did you not feel that burnout that, okay, I am here at the same organization? Like people usually have this thought, I can go to some other place where I can get a better hike, because of course you've been at the same place, and people usually think 3 साल आजकल के generation में ये होता है कि anywhere that you are at, after 3 years you want to get a switch, a better salary, whatever reason. You've been at the same place for 30 years. Did you not think कि I want to switch, I want to do something different, something better than what I'm already doing? Did that thought never cross your mind?
That thought did cross my mind.
Okay.
Because there the challenges were so many, new things to be done so many. Plus there was a kind of a reward concept where all my DPs used to help them out in anything.
Right.
Whether it is depository related or not. So basically, as a result of that, all my DPs had such a good affinity. So that the love and affection that you got from outside when you kind of help people, they don't give me, I said I can't leave. I'll give you an example. Modi was a Chief Minister of Gujarat at that time, was called for a function in Rajkot.
Right.
They told me you have to speak, so you have to come. Last minute, even all the flights were also full. So I flew to Ahmedabad and said I will catch a bus from there and go. So people in Rajkot came to know about it. So 3 people drew overnight and came in the morning to the airport just to pick me up, and they were fighting. I will take him.
But seriously, you've given a speech in front of Modi after that. What was the speech about?
Not in front of Modi, other topic in the whole program.
Oh wow! क्या बात करो? So there were 3 people who were fighting for the fact that
you come with me.
Now, honestly, I think money is a byproduct.
This is the love and affection that caused me to stay back.
But Angle, tell me one thing: in these 30 years, were there not other people who were in the organization from you with day one? So were there such people also with you?
There were. Very few people left, and in those days, very few people left CDSL.
क्या बात करो? मतलब it was that safe, secure, and the I would say that this was like the least toxic place that you would see it now. Because
relationships were so well built in with people that we felt like a family.
So there were
we would not only know the staff people, we would know their family also.
So there would be,
and we would have functions 3-4 times in a year where we invited the family, get to Satyanarayan Puja or anything else. So the whole family would come to the office.
अच्छा मतलब वो
husband, wife, children, everybody, and it became a festive atmosphere. You come to work, it becomes a kind of a great big family.
Are you still in touch with people from CDSL?
Yes,
do you all do outings even now?
We have a ex-CDSL group now.
Okay.
People who have retired or maybe left, a few of them. and we have a group. So we meet at least 2 to 3 times a year. Many of those people are abroad.
Right.
So when anybody comes from abroad, we make it a point to all meet.
कि चलो एक lunch या dinner पे जाते, let's have a nice time.
Lunch, dinner is more often than not dinner only. Or if it is a Saturday, Sunday lunch.
Tell me something, Cyrus uncle. You've gone from zero to Ziddi already with Bank of India, M.Com कर लिया, you went to CDSL. There are उसके बाद, why was this entire point that you came to Paytm Money? What exactly brought that switch in you? Because usually people tend to retire.
I tell you, I came to Paytm Money by coincidence.
Okay.
After my 60 years of retirement, CDSL had put me on contract because they also didn't want to let me go.
Okay.
So 1 year contract was renewed for 1 more year. At that time, I was helping Paytm Money promoter to understand and help out how we can do things in the market.
Right.
So when they decided to register for broking, they found out that they required 2 whole-time directors who had 5 years or 10 years experience in capital market.
Okay.
So what the MD had some experience, but he wanted somebody else whom we can trust.
Who was the MD at Paytm Money?
Praveen Jadhav.
Okay.
So basically, when our MD, CDSL MD, went to meet him, he asked him, "Can you recommend somebody's name?" So he said, "You ask Khambata, he will join." So I said, "Fine." When he came to me, I said, "If my MD doesn't object," I had no plans to leave CDSL at that time. We were on contract.
Right.
So I said, if he has no objection, I don't mind. I told him yes. Then when he went to the exchange, he found out it has to be a whole-time director. You can't be on a contract.
Right.
So he said, "You come and join me." I said, "No, I will not leave CDSL." But then I went to our CDSL MD and told him, "Okay, this is the offer." He said, "You take it because board has decided that your contract will not be renewed." So that is how I told him, "Okay, I will join you."
But was it not also heartbreaking for you that I've been at this organization for 30 plus years, now I'm no longer going to be with this organization? How was that moment for you?
That I still don't feel I've left it. Whenever there is a problem with the depository participants of CDS, they come to me, I get their work done.
क्या बात कर रहे हो?
Yes, and I told my ex-MD when I retired, when I left, and the new MD when he came also, that I am going to interfere if somebody comes and asks me for help. And both of them said, "Yes, you have all the authority to do so."
So your equation is that good with people at CDSL even now कि कुछ होगा तो अरे ये क्या कर लिया, क्यों कर दिया? Best way in which anyone's ever entered Paytm.
And the logic for taking up a job and not staying at home is capital market is evolving so fast.
Right.
If you are out of touch for 6 months, you become stale. You will not be able to understand anything.
But uncle,
The
why?
process is that.
But uncle, why Paytm Money and no other organization?
That opportunity came, so I took it.
But why are you not looking at other opportunities now? You like sthirta, you like stability.
Again, settle down here. It's not stability. It's settle down here. Here you know people. You can. They understand you. We understand them. All that is there.
How is Paytm Money different than any other competitor right now? Because of course you are someone who's helping them out extensively at a compliance level right now because of the
Compliance operation.
Because of the experience that you have. How is it different than other folks who are already in the market right now? Because Zer0 is doing really well, Grow is doing really well, and PML is trying to fight it out with the market share that they're trying to achieve. How is PML different than these other folks?
See, basically the kind of philosophy of PML for Paytm Money is to create a wealth management platform for every citizen. What happens? Wealth management is a very peculiar game.
Right.
It is a specialist game, and when you come in contact, you have to be personal touch with people, etc. And it costs something. So only high ticket people are entertained. Low ticket people are practically ignored.
Right.
People don't take anybody who has invested less than a crore.
Okay.
In the wealth management thing. Some people have a higher limit also.
Okay.
So where will the poor guys go there today? So that is how we say we'll create a wealth management platform where you can do your wealth management. You will be kind of helped in kind of understanding what is the best for you and create a wealth for you at whatever level.
So PML is bringing that difference in every single Indian's life right
Yes.
now that other brokers are not bringing. Tell me something, Cyrus uncle, that once you turned 60, you retired. Of course, your family would also essentially want you to be at home, take a breather because you've worked for so long. Okay? What was your wife's reaction, your kids' reaction, your grandkids most importantly? what was everyone's reaction कि यार अब बस करो, घर पे रहो, chill करो. But why the zero to Ziddhi even now? कि अभी भी जिद्दियों में करूंगा काम.
ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं.
तो घर वाले
बोले कि बाबा तू बाहर ही रहेगा तो अच्छा है.
घर पे रहेगा तो
घर पे मत आओ.
But how many times a week do you go to the office?
Before April, it was work from home for everybody.
Right.
Then in April, the group took a decision that you have to come to office.
Right.
So for me, basically, I don't have to go to office every day, but I go wherever I feel like going, basically, which is 3-4 times a week.
Right.
And because if you expect your staff to come to office, you have to reciprocate first.
Right.
You just can't do it. Stay at home and expect it. तुम आ जाओ, मैं नहीं आऊँगा. You have to lead by example.
You have to. How are Nikhil and Nitin, both of these brothers, different than everyone in the industry? Because they have gone from 0 to Ziddhi, 0 to 1 that nobody could imagine. What is so different about them, according to you?
I know very little of them.
Right.
Because I was in touch only when I visited Bangalore. I used to meet them.
Right.
But basically, the vision that they had of a discount broking house, where what counts is volume, not anything else, I would say.
Right.
The volume will pay for itself. And that concept nobody understood. And on top of that, at that time, broking was a spread game.
Unorganized.
All the brokers had actually offices in various cities, etc.
Right.
The establishment costs, staff costs, etc. So it turned out to be pretty expensive.
Right.
So the online concept was first introduced by Nitin, Zeroda. There was no online concept. And that concept, to push it through, was very difficult, but they succeeded because of various factors, external factors also. But that discount broking house, everybody felt, how will he make money? But later on, everybody else followed. Take Angel, for example.
Right.
They saw that their traditional broking, where they had a higher brokerage,
right,
while in discount broking houses, they have a lower brokerage.
Exactly.
So basically, wouldn't this discount broking pouch on their earlier customers?
Right.
But even if they pouch, whatever they lose in brokerage would be less than the amount they will save on establishment costs. So it turns out to be a profit proposition.
When you look at these new gen entrepreneurs in the fintech space now, I just heard of a guy who is also going to be on the podcast soon. His name is Siddharth and he's got a co-founder. There are a couple of other co-founders also. One of them is Vedant, who's going to be in the podcast. 21-year-old kids, guys, honestly, they are honestly 2-3 years younger to me, dropped out of college, started a new trading company called as Track, especially for Gen Zs. His entire proposition is very simple, that what platforms like PML, Zer0 and others are not giving is that they're not giving exact data points to people that where their stop loss was coming, and for Gen Z specifically कि आप लोगों को कब trade करना चाहिए, major insights, and how do you go with the entire process. What is your message to these young Gen Z founders who are coming up in the fintech space, that how should they potentially start building on?
See, capital market, as I said first,
right,
is a place where you build wealth, not make money.
Hmm.
Many people confuse that with those two things.
Okay.
People go in for a fast buck and lose money. It is not a place where you are going to make money. It's a place where you build your wealth.
Right.
And whatever small capital you have, if you held on to those stocks for long, your wealth is automatically made.
Right.
So that is the difference, where you got to invest in stocks which are good fundamentally, good stocks, good companies with proper prospects, and hold on to it, not trade on.
I would want to ask you this difference. What is the difference between building wealth and making money?
Building wealth is building your capital. What you own.
Okay.
And making money is earning, making some profit and using it.
Okay.
That's the difference. I will tell you, Reliance Mutual Fund. They had a 10 years after the existence, they had a very nice function where Amitabh Bachchan and others had come, because they are all family friends.
Right.
At that time, they had felicitated an investor who was one of the first investors in Reliance Mutual Fund and had still kept himself invested. And they showed a building with a placard saying, built out of SIP of Reliance Mutual Fund. This is what is wealth creation.
This is what making money would never be.
Making money would never, you would never be able to do this.
Now, a lot of Gen Z investors are coming up, right? Folks who are 18, 20, 25, who have zero knowledge about anything capital market, and they just want to make sure that they start an SIP or do something in the capital market. What is supposed to be their starting point now?
Basically, if you want to come into the capital market, my sincere advice to people is don't deal in stocks.
Okay.
Go start with a mutual fund investment, start with good funds, and start with SIP, because that is where it helps you a lot.
Okay.
Because you get to average out the cost. And slowly, after you get experience, go into direct investment in stocks.
Okay. And how do they start gaining knowledge on where to invest, how to time your mutual funds? How should they learn that? Which mutual funds to invest in?
That is basically you have to talk to your advisor.
Okay.
And take his advisor to it, because there are too many mutual fund schemes and practically impossible for a layman to kind of
know and understand.
I'll give a small example.
Yes.
A mutual fund conclave is held every year by the mutual fund industry. At one conclave, I forgot the year, Bave, who was the chairman of SEBI, was called as the chief guest.
Right.
So they talked, before he came on the dais, they talked about the progress they have made, how their AUM has grown, etc., etc.
Right.
What Mr. Bave came and said was, he said, went to the point. Okay, today you have 3,000 plus schemes, 3,400 odd schemes.
Right.
How do you expect the investors to decide on which scheme to invest? So the fund manager has become the investor, and the investor has become the fund manager.
Okay.
They stopped calling him thereafter.
But tell me something. Now, as someone who is going to start investing, how do you find that right advisor for yourself? Because there are a lot of people, if you just Google it out, there are tons of people who come up, and most of them are scams also. I recently heard of someone who got scammed by one of their advisors. How do you find that right advisor for you? Is there a process? Should you go to a website and cross-verify? What should the process
look at SEBI registered advisors only.
Okay.
You have to ensure that he is registered with SEBI.
Okay.
Do a little research on that advisor. See how he has performed in the past.
वो कैसे कर सकते? How can you check that?
You can check that now.
On SEBI's website?
Yeah, because if he has a PMS scheme or he will have how that scheme is performance, everything, he will be disseminating, no?
Okay. So ideally, whenever you're having an advisor in, make sure that you go to the SEBI website and
website and see whether he is registered with SEBI first.
Okay.
Where was he registered, what he does, etc., and then only decide.
Understood. Uncle, what is that one point which still keeps you Ziddi, that I want to keep doing this? What is that one point or goal that you have in mind right now?
To basically try to make a difference in lives of everyone I come in contact with.
Okay. And that you are, I mean, at scale also and individually one-on-one also is what you're doing. What is that one philosophy on which you live your life?
Same thing. Keep people, make everybody happy and help them whenever, without being asked.
Majani life.
Majani life.
Majani life. हंसते खेलते करते रहो.
Many a times I tell my friends, कि दोस्ती ऐसी चीज है. If you want help, you will not join your hands and say, please help me. You say, हराम खोर मेरा काम कर.
काम कर. Exactly.
Exactly. That is what is friendship.
आपको ऐसा लगता है आजकल friendships have also become very transactional?
Yes, they become very rewarding. Right. I will do something for him, he should do something for me. That sort of thing. Lot of expectation comes in.
So, how do you keep your friendships intact? Because you've also, of course, have had friends who've been with you for decades. How do you make sure that it does not get transactional? And it's the same, ki yaar haram kar tu ye kar. How do you still keep it intact?
When you don't expect anything from a friend, the friendship automatically will intact.
I think this
is expectation. Another thing, if you want to be happy,
right? I
tell people, if you want to be happy, don't expect anything from anybody. You say, I am his brother, or I am his son, or I am his husband, or I am her husband. If you say, she is my wife, you try to accept something.
Okay.
That is the way if you live life. It's very difficult to practice, but you have to consciously try to practice it. And then, if they don't behave the right way that you think they should behave, there is no suffering or no bad feeling.
So how do you introduce yourself these days? I am her husband or she's my wife?
No, I say I am her husband.
Most men have a very difficult relationship with their father because of course, two Sigma males in the same room living life for the longest time. बहुत difficult equation हो जाता है वो. How was your relationship with your father?
My relationship with my father was like a friend.
Okay.
We never consider each other as senior or junior, etc. It was a pure friendship type of equation. We were frank to each other. He would tell me, what you say, I don't agree, or what you are doing is, I don't agree to it, change it, and he'll tell me his reasons, and then leave me to kind of decide my own path.
Just like a friend, that okay,
so
this is
the friendship that we had, I can tell you, before I got married, he told me that you have a lot of friends, but so don't leave those friends. You tell your wife that you will spend one night out with the boys. So I said, fine, I'm going to tell her now, she's in the kitchen. So I went, he called me back, hey, idiot, come here. I said, what happened, father? You tell her this, but don't waste it on the boys.
That's exactly what it's supposed to be.
That was the friendly relationship we had.
No, but that is something that you still transcend. That fun, joyous nature is something which never goes away. Was there ever a time in your life you thought that you would go bankrupt?
Not bankrupt or nahi, but there was some fear in my mind that money that you invest initially, money that you invest may lose value or may depreciate.
But nothing,
so that time we used to invest only in bank deposits.
That is like the traditional
thing.
6-7% पे तो पैसा आना चाहिए, वो म्यूचुअल फंड का
पैसा डूबेगा तो नहीं, कभी आएगा तो चलेगा.
But wealth नहीं डूबना चाहिए.
Wealth डूबना नहीं चाहिए. मुद्दल डूबना नहीं चाहिए.
मुद्दल डूब गया तो issue है. I would want you to complete one sentence for me. Success means dash for me.
Success means basically leaving a good chappa wherever you go.
Impact it is. Impact it is. For you, uncle, what does 0 to Ziddi mean?
There is nothing like 0 to Ziddi. However, whatever you may do, there is always something to look upon. Because if there is nothing to look upon, the charm is gone.
So every time you go from 0 to Ziddi, again you hit a 0,
have to,
then you go to
Ziddi. You have to have another Ziddi ahead.
तो हमेशा लाइफ में 0 आता रहेगा, आगे जिद्दी कैसे बनाओ तुम पे.
Yes.
That is the entire point. What is that one message that you'd want to give all the young folks who are watching, trying to go from 0 to Ziddi, and things that they should keep in mind throughout?
Never give up on what you think is right. Pursue it and you will always succeed. I'll tell you a very actual instance.
Right.
Mutual fund people had come to us to create this common KYC database. I took the concept to my MD at that time. If CDSL we can do it. He said, no, if some rafla happens in KYC, you will get arrested, even I will get arrested. Now if he says no, then it's collapse. So I said, no, we will try to find out. Look, what happened at that time, the mutual fund, one of our chairman was also on the trustee boards of 2-3 mutual funds.
Right.
So I told those guys, they knew him. So I told those guys, you come, I will take you to the chairman. So I took them to the chairman. He appreciated the concept and he came and told my MD, we have to do this. So there had no option but to say yes.
You were one of the 4 founding.
You never give up. There is always a way in which you can get your thing done if you are confident in the concept and its utility or the impact it will create on the universe.
You were one of the founding fathers for KYC in India is what people say. What is the story? One of the founding fathers of KYC in India is Cyrus Khambata.
How it started was that mutual funds or wherever you invest, you have to give documents to everybody. It was a painful affair.
Right.
Every bank account you open, you have to give a document.
Right.
Every broking account, every investment, every time you invested in a mutual fund, you have to give it. In an NFO, if you applied, you have to give your PAN card and other things.
Right.
So basically, we said, why not have a common database which is verified by a third-party entity. So it gives you independent verification, and at the same, and it gives you value, and then everybody can use it. That is how we started off, and we approached AMFI. AMFI saw the concept. We were talking to mutual fund people. Then AMFI went to SEBI and got approval for it, and that is how the KYC for mutual fund industry started. And yes, so everything was not smooth sailing at that time.
But were there not a lot of rejections also then कि एक नया concept लेके आ रहे हो, क्या जरूरत है?
It was sponsored by AMFI, which is the group of all mutual funds together.
Right.
So what concept? Everybody saw the value of it.
Right.
Because storing those documents by each fund separately was a problem.
Right.
Plus, when people applied in different schemes and gave different documents, they were not able to kind of look at it, and if they are caught, they would be blamed.
So it is better to have a
So it is better to have a
centralized
common database.
Wow. Thank you so much for being on Zero to the Cyrus uncle. It was a treat for us to have you here. I think a lot of folks are going to know a lot more about finance and how you go from zero to the loyalty, same organization, and something that people will have to look up to post this podcast. Thank you so much, Cyrus uncle.
No need of
Thank you
thanks,
so much.
yeah.
All right. This brings us to an end of an incredible episode. Today, you might have learned a lot more about the Babaji's life, the Majani lifestyle that they portray out there for people to see, the capital markets, how you're supposed to get a new job in this industry and have loyalty. Be 0, be 20 or be 60. How do you keep that zero to Ziddi hustle culture? The founding father of KYC in mutual funds, Nikhil Nitin's actual mentors who've helped him at a compliance level. You've seen all of it today. So trust me, the content is going to get better from here. And if you actually like this content, please like, share, and subscribe.